Hey Dan, hey Nikki, specifically Nikki. This is a response to your video, um, and the video that you made when you were sitting out on your porch. And actually, I don't know if you can see behind you, but my window was open. It was actually 72 degrees. What was it, 73 degrees here, hon, today?
Something like that.
72, 73. But the difference was it was really, really humid, and it was just, I mean, it was really pleasant, really awesome. And actually, Beth was really funny because we had the windows open at dinner, and she was like, Phil, thank God it's finally cooling down, and it was only 72 degrees. I think that's funny. We are true Minnesotans. So Nikki, you were sitting out on your deck, so you can brag all you want because I think summer or spring has finally arrived in Winona. The leaves, literally the last 2 days, the leaves have started coming out on the trees. It's crazy. So Pilates, you were talking about going to Pilates and pasty white skin. You know, honey, why are not you in the pool? I know, you put your pool time in. Maybe you think you put your pool time in for your life, but I don't think so. I think that you have more to gain by being in the pool. So if you need a personal lesson, going out to Minnesota, to Winona, and I'll give you a lesson. I have to tell you, while I'm on this subject, I had a very transformative experience this past weekend and the weekend before. After my conversation with Lynn Cox, at our Sunday swim 2 Sundays ago. So today's Monday, the 13th or the 12th or whatever the date is. And so what I did was when we were out at that swim, I had the book of Cox, and I read from chapter 1, verse 1 from the first book of Lynn, and then Mary and Kurt and I all swam without wetsuits. The water was 53 degrees, and we swam to the tree and back, so about 1,200 meters. And I tell you, the first 200 yards was really hard. And after that, a calmness came over me. Now, granted, I know, Nikki, you're probably thinking, well, yeah, no shit, you're dying. That's why you're feeling calm. But no, it was not that. It was beautiful. The sun was out, and I felt like I was swimming on top of liquid sunshine cream. I mean, it was beautiful. And then this past Sunday, I swam that distance twice. The water was 59, anywhere between 55 and 59, depending on where we were in the lake. And it was magical. So you've got that, Nikki. You've got that in front of you. And you don't have to worry about your pasty white skin because we're all pasty white in Minnesota. You talked about nervous hiking. Hiking, aren't you hiking? Oh, you're talking to Dan. That's what it was. Asking him, isn't he nervous hiking by himself? Nervous of what? What, are you afraid a bear is going to come out? Are you afraid he's going to have a heart attack or break his ankle? I mean, he's got his friggin' cell phone. He's got his camera. So at the very least, he can document his final hours on this earth with his little camera. I'm not sure actually what the risk is that you are concerned about. Is it accident? Is it act of God? Is it act of criminal? Dan, I don't know if you've considered making yourself a gun out of Tyvek. There's some really nice designs online for that. So speaking of Tyvek products, Nikki, you had suggested Dan create a whole line. Well, I think he should actually first start with a tie, Tyvek. Yeah, and maybe some underwear, maybe a hat. I don't know. I think I think you're right, Nikki. There's 1,001 uses for Tyvek. You talked about not having a job and that you highly recommend that. Nikki, you may not know this, but Beth has resigned from her job as of the end of this month. So May 31st will be her last day on the job. She'd been wanting to stay home for a while, even before Galen died, but especially after he died. Obviously Marshall's a freshman, Preston's in 7th grade, and Colleen's in 5th, and they're going to go very quickly through those grades and into high school and out of high school. So she just is going to stay home and wants to spend time with them and do home stuff. So I'm cool with that. Even if I weren't, she would still do it, of course. So she's going to join the ranks of the elite, Nikki, Dan, Beth, the big three. So, weight of my heart, you talked about my play. It was, of course, I was the Pharaoh. It was awesome. Colleen was really funny during the play because she kept a tally of how many times I kissed women, and there was 10 in the show that she watched. So apparently I was a randy Pharaoh. And then I don't know if you know about the next play I was in. It was dealing with body issues, anorexia, and bulimia. I think you saw a little bit of that. And I didn't really like it. Really, nobody in the cast liked the play. And during there were 3 one-act plays that were stage read, and then we had some audience interaction and audience questions about the play. None of the audience really liked that play at all, and that's fine. I didn't like it either. So I don't know what's next in terms of acting. I don't know if you know this, maybe Nikki. I think, yeah, I told you. So Colleen actually starts rehearsal tomorrow, and it's rehearsal most every night, Tuesday through Saturday, 6 to 9 p.m. So it's kind of cool. I'm really happy for her. Entrance exams for Catholic school. What the hell is that about? I thought it was just if you could pay for it, you could go. Are you sure that there's, these real entrance exams? Or, I mean, what kind of entrance exam would there be? Like, when did Pope Leo rule? Was there ever a female pope? Does the Pope shit in the woods? That kind of thing. Do you have to tell a Catholic joke? So this priest, this nun, and this rabbi walk into a bar, that kind of thing. Then explain why it's funny. That's my idea of a Catholic school entrance exam. And so you were saying that, was it, Maddie, right? Took the test? Anyway, that she completely aced it and it didn't surprise you? So you were like 100 percentile, 100 percentile, 100th percentile. With all due respect to your children, I know they're brilliant, but maybe Catholic kids are just stupid. So relatively speaking, I'm just saying. So you said the phrase, kick ass and take names. I have to tell you, I use that frequently. And that was something that we always used in law enforcement. That was our motivating line at the end of shift briefings. So whenever you came on duty, you sat down as a shift, you talked about what was going on in town, things that you're going to be working on that day, and then we always said, okay, let's go out there and kick ass and take names. Also, did you say juggernaut? As in like a really big muscular person who runs a lot? I'm just curious. And you said there was an aid station on a 50K. What kind of, I don't know a lot of people with aids who run 50Ks, and that's admirable right there. So, not hurting yourself in softball. I think that's important. Here's what you need to do, actually. Screw stretching. You don't need to do any of that stretching business. Here's what you need to do. You need to train yourself to not sprint off to first base when you hit the ball. Hit the ball. What you're going to do is you're going to take a couple of easy steps out of the batter's box and then slowly speed up to top speed within 5 feet of the base. I mean, yeah, you're not going to beat out any throws, but as you yourself said, you might not be beating out any throws anyway. So why not take it easy coming out of the batter's box? That's my biggest suggestion. Otherwise, here's what you got to do. Bring a stationary bike to the game, and you're going to sit in the dugout, and you're going to ride this bike until it's your turn to go up and hit. So there's no other way. I mean, softball is the enemy of the hamstring and the quad. It just is. And there's nothing you can do about that. Pittsburgh, yes. I clearly remember your story about Pittsburgh. And I still think it's very funny. So I think that what you should do is send Mike with a little Nikki doll. And what he can do is he can send the Nikki doll on a separate flight from the mic, and you can, I don't know, do something with the keys as well. It's just an idea. So, but I think that's all I've got. It's 3 minutes until 9, which is of course my witching hour. I did swim twice today, once this morning and once afternoon. And I've been really keeping up with my swims, you guys. I'm really happy about that. I think I told you I had that 16-week plan, which ends with Trinona. And so I'm currently at 28,800 yards for these last 4 weeks, and then I taper down to the race. So, yeah, I'm really, really happy with it. So yeah, you know what, Nikki, I am going to be out there this summer in July, I think. I'm going to come out. I told you about that triathlon that I'm going to do with my college mates. I'm going to go through Ellensburg, and then I'm going to go up to Bellevue to see Bill. I don't think I'm going to get down to Central Oregon, but if you have any reason to come over to Pendleton, we can have a little powwow there. That would be awesome. Think about it. But otherwise, it's going to be a busy summer here. We're going to be sailing at Bayfield again when we go up to that Point to La Pointe race, the 2-mile open water swim race. Which, by the way, I've got a new Speedo just for that race. I can't show it to you, but I did get. You know what I think I'm going to do? I'm going to make a video just on my swimwear because I got some really cool swimwear now. I know you don't really want to see it, but TFB, Water Prince 4, right? And Marshall's coming out there, Nikki. He's going to come out to High Summer School, and then we'll be out there for another week after that as well. Let's see, what else? That's it. So it's been 12 minutes. I think I'll turn this video off. It was very much of a pleasure talking to you both. That's my story. I am sticking to it.